everybody, to the premiere episode of Card Cashers. I'm your host, Jay. You can follow me at Card Cashers on Twitter or on YouTube. Joining me in this exciting adventure, Ryan, known as RDAEX1 on Twitter. Follow him on YouTube at RDAEX. He does some of the best breaks in the business. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Some of the best breaks in the business. I got something to live up to now. Holy crap!
We want people to check you out. So, like I said, he does amazing breaks. That's how I found him on Twitter. So make sure you check out his handle, RDAEX1 on Twitter, at YouTube, RDAEX. He's typically doing about a break a week, and he does some really fun, engaging stuff. So make sure you give him a follow.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Card Cashers, what it is each week we'll be chasing a category of cards. This week is quarterbacks. And each week we're going to have a budget. This week is $50. So you have $50 to spend on quarterbacks, and you have a week to do it. Let's see how we did. Ryan has been in the business for a few years doing breaks, and so I'm kind of new to the business. I thought that coming into this, I was going to have my hands full. It was going to be a bit of a challenge, like picking cards and competing against you, Ryan. So my strategy was I was going to have to kind of think outside the box. I only have $50 to spend. I can't just go out and get a bunch of Mahomes, Josh Allen, autographs, rookie cards. Like, I have to be kind of creative. So for my strategy in spending the $50, my goal was try to get players that are either undervalued or still really young. So my thing was quarterbacks that were drafted within the last 3 years, because even though they're hyped up, I thought they had a lot of potential and they could be the next Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, and I could potentially get their cards cheaper. And a couple of them have, even in the time being, have lost their jobs or have been injured. So I'm hoping for a bounce back and hoping that they can get their value and go above what I paid for them. So that's kind of what my thinking was. Did you have a strategy? How were you planning on spending your $50?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really work specifically like that, but it ended up being about the same thing. I went for pre-graded, so I grabbed 2 graded cards. So I figured, some quality over the quantity of them. So I grabbed 2 graded cards, and then I kind of fell into what I felt was an amazing deal just about a week ago. So I added that one, and I'm exactly at the 50. So I bought 2 and a lot for 40, and then I added another one for 10. And I feel like you're going to be hard pressed to take this crown for week 1.
Uh-oh. I actually am already kind of worried about it, because I feel like you are way more of an expert than me. And I already like your strategy going for graded cards, and you found an amazing deal. That's kind of what the show's about. It's about getting good deals. It's about finding opportunities and striking while the iron is hopefully going to be hot in the very near future. So I'm excited to see what you came up with. But first, let's look at some footage of me shopping for some of the cards. Welcome to Card Cashers. This week we're chasing quarterbacks. I'm outside Sports and Cards in Youngtown, Arizona. I have $50 to spend. Let's see if they have any good deals. We left Sports and Cards. As you can see, it's dark now, but we came out with some good cards. We got CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy. So I'm really excited. We got some good deals. So that was my adventure at Sports and Cards in Youngtown, Arizona. Thank you so much for hosting me. So I'd say we just get into it. Let's start looking at what we got.
As a note, I enjoy I went in and now it's dark when I came out, because that's usually how it ends up.
Yeah, that's the exciting part for my wife, having to film all that while the hours of while I'm looking at cards and she is pretending to be interested. For my first card, I thought, let's go huge. I want one centerpiece to build this $50 around. My plan of getting quarterbacks within the last 3 years, I thought, who was hotter at the beginning of the season and who's cold now? It's got to be Anthony Richardson of the Colts. He has had a very exciting part of the season, the first 5 games. Then he got hurt, and then he was injured, and he's been out. So kind of I was thinking out of sight, out of mind. Maybe I can get some good deals on his cards. So I found this for $19.
Oh, plates and patches.
Anthony Richardson, $19. This is his plates and patches, double coverage. So I got it for $19. I like that it has a patch in it. And like I was saying, he is a quarterback that I think in the very near future is going to be move up to the upper echelon of quarterbacks. He's a runner, and if he can stay healthy, the Colts are already good, kind of good without him. And when they were with him, he added an exciting wrinkle to the team. I like how their coach was using him. I think the Colts moving forward are going to have a young, exciting offense, and I think they could be a perennial playoff team. So I thought $19 for this number to 75. So I thought I got a good deal. $19. This was the card I was building my pace around.
I think he's going to be very good as well. A buddy of mine is a huge Colts fan, and man, when he went down and got hurt, but that's the thing that he's going to have to get better at is learning how to play a full season, right? Like, Lamar had that issue, Vic had that issue. You have to learn how to humble yourself a little bit and get down and get out of bounds and not get smoked 6 times a game,
Exactly, and we saw it with Tua this year. When Tua got hurt last year, and people are saying, "Is this career over? One more concussion, and he's going to be out of the league." And he was smarter this year, learned how to fall correctly and take sacks. So if Richardson can stay healthy, I think he could be a future top 10, top 5 quarterback in the near future.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, so that's how I spent my first $19. Ryan, what was the first card you picked up?
So I actually did. So it was a 2-pack. For whatever reason, this guy was selling 2 of them, but it's 2 Fields PSA 9 hollow optics. They're from regular optic. They're not from the optic preview, so they should hold value a little bit better. They're hollows, so these are kind of the gold standard as far as quarterback cards, those and the Prism silvers. So I'm hoping that now that he's kind of picked back up. I picked those up when he was hurt, and Tyler Badgett mania was sweeping across the nation. So I picked those up pretty cheap. I paid $20 a piece for them, so I got $40 in the total for those 2. And now that he's back in, no matter what the Bears do regarding keeping him or moving on and trading him, I think either way his market is going to go up. Doesn't matter which option they choose. If they trade him away, I think he, like, being a Buckeye fan, obviously I'm a little biased, but I do think he has the tools to be top 5, top 10 in the NFL. He's a good quarterback who's been in a terrible situation.
Definitely. And I think just like they wouldn't even be thinking about getting rid of him if they didn't have this first pick just kind of fall in their lap. So they are basically going to be deciding the future of their franchise based around this first pick. What do they do? Do they trade down again? Do they load up on draft picks? Do they keep Fields? But I like your thinking that. So if they keep Fields and build around him, the Bears potentially have like a top 5, top 10 quarterback and should be a perennial playoff team for years to come. Or if they trade him and somebody else picks him up, could you imagine if what would be a good team to pick him up?
New England.
Yeah. So New England, the Falcons, the Jets.
Oh yeah, Falcons are good. Yep.
Yeah, if he lands in a really good situation, like what I think Anthony Richardson has in Indy, I feel like he wouldn't lose any value at all, and it could still be a top 5 to 10 quarterback.
Yep.
So,
and imagine if they draft Harrison. You've got Marvin Harrison, you've got DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Roshan Johnson in the backfield has done amazing this year. Like, that's a team that is going to give people problems.
Yeah, I really like that, and they were both graded, and they were both 9s, so I think you got some really good value there.
What you got next?
For my next card, also another injury type situation, maybe having a down year, but Trevor Lawrence, $9.11. All right,
yep.
So Optic Threads Blue Hyper Prism. I got it on the cheap on eBay, $9.11. So as you can see, there is a patch in there, and I believe that Trevor Lawrence is potentially another top 5, top 10 starting quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He has dealt with a lot of injuries this year, and the Jags have been a super disappointment. But I feel like if he is to right the ship, if they're to get him maybe one more good wide receiver, I feel like he could be a potential MVP candidate down the road. The Jags could be. They play in a well, what used to be a bad division, but now it's turning out to be a pretty good division. I feel like he could be a perennial playoff contender and MVP candidate in the future. So $9.11. I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think that's a win on that one. Those optic threads are usually relatively well sought after too.
All right, Ryan, what do you have next?
All right, so my next and final, I got three. You got a lot more options than I do. So my next and final, one of my buddies in my Twitter group tagged me and said, "Hey, go look at this post. They're selling a Jake Browning rookie auto." And I got it about a week ago for $10, sir.
Wow.
So that person definitely really didn't check what they were going for. So I think that's a win overall. Capitalize on the hype, right?
Yo, that's a great deal. So,
yeah.
You live in Ohio. So, what is your thoughts on like moving forward? Obviously, it's going to be Burrow, but like they could trade Browning. He could get a starting gig somewhere else.
So I think his contract status, he's an exclusive rights free agent after the year. We're the only ones that can offer him. We're the only ones that can sign him. So he will very likely be back next year in a backup role, and I am perfectly fine with that. I think if you ask me when Burrow went down, how many more games will you win? And the words 0 came out of my mouth, I would have been being honest, right? Like we were going to lose 13 games or 12 games or whatever the math works out to be. Like I was fully prepared to not win another game. This dude has come in and done more than anyone anticipated him doing. He's made himself a pretty decent paycheck 2 years from now when he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Good for him. He was drafted. This is a 2019, I think. Yeah. So he was drafted in 2019, the year before Burrow and them. So, imagine just sitting, waiting.
You said the team could have easily folded and just lost the rest of their games, but they came out and they almost were in the playoff hunt, and they almost could have got in. And he played.
If not for our terrible coach, we'd be in the playoffs.
I remember seeing him playing against the Vikings, and just that whole game was so exciting, and just the back and forth. Me being a Lions fan, I was rooting for the Vikings to lose, obviously. So I was the biggest Jake Browning fan that day. But I saw some potential in him, and I think getting a rookie auto for $10 of a future potential starting quarterback in the league, I thought great find, good find, sir.
I bought it for a quick flip. I actually bought it. So I bought it from a guy that lives in Canada. So it took almost 2 weeks to get to me, and I probably lost about $30 in value in those 2 weeks.
All right, come at me, guys. We got to get some really good deals. So all of your rookie autos for $10 and under, hit me up, please. For my next card, who was and could possibly be the hottest quarterback in the league, not totally based on talent, but also because of his supporting cast. We have
Purdy, yep.
Brock Purdy, pink camo, $6.11. This is his camo pink prism. So everyone knows Brock Purdy. There's a huge discussion on whether he's based on the talent around him, or is he the next Tom Brady?
I think it's him.
It's really hard to say, but what we do know is the 49ers are one of the best teams in the league, and they could, if they keep this group together, they could win multiple Super Bowls. And so to get a Brock Purdy card at all right now is kind of expensive. So I thought to get a pink camo prism, it's almost a color match. It looks really cool. It was only $6.11, including shipping. I bought this off of eBay. So I thought it was a good deal. And again, Purdy, especially if they go all the way to the Super Bowl, he could easily win MVP. His card value should go up, and so I was excited to get that for $6.11.
The other thing that's crazy, like if you look at the price difference between that same card in a rookie year versus a second year, rookie year cards kind of price people out sometimes. So second year cards can gain value in a way that a rookie card may not, because that rookie card is so high that people are going to look for alternatives to try to buy into.
Exactly, and with our budget of $50, it would be hard to get any Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
rookies, anything of any value. It would be very difficult. So
Yeah.
to get into the Brock Purdy game at all, this was my entry point. So $6.11. I'm still rooting for the Lions this year, but if Brock Purdy goes and wins a Super Bowl and becomes MVP, that card will shoot up in value. Hopefully,
I do think I think it's more him than it is the people around him. I think he is a very good QB.
My next one doesn't compare with your Justin Fields, but I also got into the Justin Fields game. I believe, like what you said earlier, he's the real deal. Like I've seen him already run all over the Lions multiple times, so I think he has the future potential to be a star in this league. And I got this Justin Fields Panini Prestige Extra Point Red. It's numbered to 449. I got this for $5.
See, same thing. You get a second year card. Yep. You can get them. You can get them for low cost.
Numbered to 449. So we already talked about Justin Fields earlier. You got some massive deals with your 2 graded 9 cards. So I went a little cheaper, but Justin Fields, I think, is a potential NFL MVP candidate in the future if he stays healthy and stays this course, whether it's on the Bears or another team. I thought we both got good deals for Justin Fields cards.
Like everybody you're going to compare him to similar style, right? So look at Lamar. Lamar Jackson was drafted 3 years ahead of Justin Fields. Lamar Jackson 3 years ago, people were talking about him like he was trash and he couldn't throw and he was a runner and he didn't have blah, 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 right? He can't. Well, now in the last 3 years, he's deleting people off the face of the earth when he throws the ball. Like, dude's crazy. So yeah, like everybody wants to move on and deem people, wasted or washed or terrible or trash. The dude's been in the league. This is his 3rd full season in the league. And in 2020, Lamar was being talked about the same way. So just give this guy a chance to figure everything out and be on a team that isn't terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Not changing coaches and keep him with a structure that he's familiar with. I think like even next year they could be a front runner for the division.
Yep.
So for my next card, I'm not as excited about. I was when I purchased it, but not so much anymore. I thought I got an amazing deal. It is this Sam Howell Red Aspirations Shimmer. It's numbered to 625. I only paid $3.86. So
can't complain about a numbered QB for $4.
Right? That's kind of what I was thinking. Like he's not at the time he was actually looking pretty good.
I don't understand why benched him. He played fantastic.
I don't believe it was his fault. I don't think he was getting any blocking, and they do have some weapons for him at wide receiver. And at the time where I bought the cards, he was actually like near the top or even leading the league in passing yards, but he just holds on to the ball too long. He takes too many sacks. He wasn't getting any blocking. And the head coaching regime seems like they're on their way out of Washington.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
They didn't really seem to want to build him up or anything. So it's going to be interesting. They're going to have a high draft pick. They're in the same boat as the Bears, as they have to make a decision. Is Howell going to be the quarterback moving forward, or there's an exciting new crop of rookie quarterbacks? What are they going to go with? And I think if they do dump Howell, trade him for a 3rd or 4th round pick, he could end up in a similar spot somewhere else and end up still being pretty good. So let's go into my next card. It is Trevor Lawrence Gold Cracked Ice. This was $2.98. This is him when he was. This is him on the Clemson.
Yeah.
This is him
What's
in the
that?
Clemson jersey.
Prison draft?
Yep.
Yeah, prison draft.
Gold Cracked Ice, $2.98. So again, we talked about Trevor Lawrence a little while ago. I think he has the potential to be a top 5, top 10 starting quarterback in the league. Cool looking card, almost a color match with his Clemson jersey, $2.98. Like, why not at that price?
Cracked ice always is desirable. It doesn't matter if it's college or not. Somebody will take that.
Exactly.
Clemson is a big enough program to have fans that buy those cards.
Yeah, right. And how's Clemson doing without Trevor Lawrence? My last 2 cards, I got a Brock Purdy base card, 2023. So I wanted to go heavy into the Brock Purdy business, but it was obviously way too expensive. So to get this one, to get this for $1.50, especially if he wins, for a while he was front runner for MVP. So
Mhm.
MVP would have been nice, but if they can win the Super Bowl, if he can get a Super Bowl MVP, even his base cards should go up. So $1.50 for that one.
Yep.
And another Sam Howell. This is a
Sam Howell.
prestige, only $1 for a guy who, again, I think he could be a potential starting quarterback in this league. $1, a sweet looking card, I thought. So at the
I was
time,
gonna
he
say,
was
can we
leading.
talk about how nice Prestige looks
Oh,
this
for
year?
sure. Look at
It's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's a fantastic looking card. It's a base card, but for only $1. And at the time, he was leading the league in passing. He could land somewhere good. He could stay in Washington and be a top 10, top 15 starter possibly. All right, so here you see the totals. I have a spreadsheet pulled up. So the Anthony Richardson, $19. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy. All of my cards add up to $48.56, where Ryan nailed it with $50 exactly. His two Justin Fields PSA 9s, both $20 each. The Jake Browning rookie auto, amazing find for $10. So his total came out to 50. Mine came out to 48.56. We both came within budget this week. Who do you guys think did the better job? Put in the comments below who you thought got the better deal. Make sure you vote for me, of course, obviously. Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, let's go. What do you guys want to see in future episodes? What would be a good category of cards that we could do? So this obviously was quarterbacks. We have so many options. What would you guys like to see? Make sure you put in the comments what categories you'd be interested in seeing in the future. And also sell us your cards at me at Card Cashers. I want to buy your cards at a discount, at a good deal. So when you know the category, hit me up, send me your cards, send me your deals. Like, I want to wheel a deal. I want to find good deals so that I can eventually beat Ryan. So help me out.
And then
Make sure
and then hit me up and give me the better deal.
No more. Okay, if you guys can, no more rookie autograph cards for him for $10 or $10 or less. That's really not very fair, is it?
A bunch of 2019 Prism draft picks. See if I can hit another one.
Right. So that's a strategy. So if you want to use you can use your $50 however you want. Obviously, it only has to be quarterbacks. But say like you did, where you bought 3 cards and I bought 8 or 9 cards. So quantity over quality. What do you want? You could just buy one $50 card if you want. You could buy a box and hopefully get something out of that. It's really however you want to do it to spend your $50. So that's what's so exciting about this show. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. Make sure you follow Ryan at Twitter at RDAEX1 and at YouTube at RDAEX. He does some of the funnest breaks in the business. He's a down-to-earth guy, as you can see, a lot of fun. Make sure you follow him over there. Sign up for some of his breaks. Ryan, thank you so much. Like, what an exciting time, like, to be a card collector. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this. Thank you so much. Like, this was a blast.
I appreciate it. I agree, man. There's a lot of deals to be had. People are selling off stuff that they bought in 2020 and 2021 when I first really kind of started doing this. So it's a good time to buy stuff, and I think everything cycles up and down, right? Like baseball's starting to tick up a little bit, football's starting to tick down a little bit. So just make sure you keep yourself aware of the trends if you're going to be buying stuff to sell it.
Exactly. So you guys bought cards you don't want anymore. Sell them to us. Make sure you get us some good deals, though. What do you think? What would you like to do next week? What would be your category you'd like to chase for our next episode? If we just basic football rookie cards. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yep. No matter what the era. Football rookie card.
Whichever era you want.
Yeah, that'll work.
So, guys, on our next episode, we will be doing football rookie cards. Make sure you at me at Card Cashers. Let me know what rookie cards you have that you want to sell me, but make sure it's a good deal, though. I need to get a good deal. I can't lose. I can't keep losing to Ryan. I can't be spending $50 and losing every week. Find me on Twitter at Card Cashers. Make sure you throw us a like and a follow. And again, follow RD at RDAEX1 at Twitter, RDAEX on YouTube. Ryan, thanks so much for doing this. This was a blast, dude.
Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, we'll see you guys next time on Card Cashers.